Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on issue 1 of Young Avengers from 2005. Now as you know, with the MCU starting to build up the Young Avengers, I managed to find a copy of issue 1 at a charity shop for £1, and after sitting down and read it, the best I can say is that it's being the sort of equivalent to a Marvel version of Teen Titans and Young Justice. So the cover mainly has Patriot, Iron Lad, Wiccan, as well as Hulkling, and there's more truths that are going to be revealed about them. And it starts off with, at the Daily Bugle, Jameson saying, "Who are the Young Avengers?" And of course, he mainly points out about these young heroes coming out of the woodwork, and he even talks about them looking similar to the Avengers. And we see how Kate and Jessica Jones talk about this, but we even see how even Jameson does seem to have a bit of a mixed feelings about this. And we kind of see how, even Kate points out how she was the one who called them the Young Avengers and explains the question mark. And even explains that Patriot's outfit looks a lot like Bucky's. But we even see how Jameson points out how that he grew up admiring Bucky as well as Captain America. And this is where his basically hero worship on Captain America died, when he realized Captain America led a 14-year-old boy behind enemy lines and got him killed before the whole Winter Soldier thing. And I think this is a reference to also how Stan Lee hated having sidekicks in superhero comics. But I sort of disagree, because the whole point of sidekicks are meant to have that kind of mantle, that kind of taking on the whole kind of legacy thing. And it has happened before with other comics, because I think Marvel can do it. I just think Stan Lee was a bit afraid about doing it. And of course, we kind of see how they even talk about Jessica Jones even being a hero once, and even, having kind of not wanting that to be brought up. And they talk about her former identity known as Jules. And this is like when you had done something in the past and people try to bring it up, and even Jessica Jones doesn't want to bring up anything that happened to her during her superhero career. So of course they need to kind of get info on the Young Avengers, and we see how Jessica Jones and Kate talk about this until Jessica Jones ends up meeting Captain America and Iron Man and needs to have a private word with Jessica Jones. And of course, they want to find out more about these Young Avengers, and Cap wants to make sure that these young superheroes don't put themselves in danger. And this is Captain America making sure not to emulate similar mistakes. And I can understand this is Cap feeling responsible for what happened to Bucky, but again, I think the problem Stan Lee had is that he didn't really want to take the risk. Again, I can understand not wanting to set a bad example, but I think DC at least acknowledges that, when Bruce Wayne had Jason Todd, Bruce wanted to see the good in Jason, but the good in him was just a mirror of his own, and that can be a realistic thing. But of course, we see how Jessica Jones points out that she'll keep up the intel when needed, and we see Cap and Iron Man flying off to make sure that she does. We see how later in the night at a giant church, we see how at the wedding of Kate Bishop's dad as well as his new wife, we kind of see how Kate wants to kind of take out the sort of people taking the cathedral, despite the fact of what could happen if they're not too careful. And right away we see the Young Avengers going in, swooping down, guns and blazing. Of course, we see how at first they start to get a bit reckless. We kind of see how because of some mishaps they end up unintentionally starting a fire. And this is like getting ready for your first day on the job, but not knowing what you're supposed to do. And we see how Kate tries to handle the situation herself, but of course unintentionally makes the situation worse. and of course uses a ninja star to kind of pierce one of the guy's legs, and everyone duking it out. And right away, yeah, the Young Avengers end up kind of getting accused for putting the church in danger and the hostages. We kind of see how Jessica Jones tries to give Hulkling her kind of card to call her. And right away, we see how the team kind of blame each other. We kind of see how Iron Lad tries to calm everyone down, despite it falling on deaf ears. And yeah, the team mainly leave off in a huff. And of course, we see how Iron Lad goes in, tries to dismantle the security systems, and this is where the Avengers meet Iron Lad. And of course, they're impressed with his technology and suit, and we see how Iron Lad later reveals that he's actually a past version of Kang who wants to fix his future self's mistakes, and there would be more truths about him in the next few issues. And this is issue 1. So I think this one is more of trying to be a DC, more kind of Marvel version of Teen Titans and Young Avengers. And of course, we all know that these versions of the Young Avengers have kind of ties to their sort of predecessors, or at least more connections with their pasts. And I can understand Stan Lee having mixed feelings about the whole sidekick thing. I think there is an idea to do something with a Marvel sidekick idea, just making sure to kind of not sugarcoat it too much, but at least DC make it clear what can happen when you try to take someone in, but it doesn't always go the way that you intend. And sometimes, yeah, wanting to see the good in people and wanting to think you can help them doesn't mean it's going to be an easy ride. So I think this issue definitely deserves a thumbs up. Definitely good, definitely readable, but definitely worth to get. So, comic book reviewer here, signing out.